So I'm going to be doing my predictions video a little bit differently from everyone else's. Well, actually, I'm not too sure if it's actually different because I haven't watched a single predictions video. But basically what I'm going to be doing is, well, first off, torturing myself once I have to edit this. But I'm going to be predicting the outcomes and scores of every single World Cup match. That's from the group stages, round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, and final. I can't wait to see how poorly this all ages. Now, why am I doing it like this? Well, A, because I think it's more fun. I honestly hate doing predictions videos, so maybe this will add a little more pizzazz to it. But also because I want to make a separate preview video for every single team in each group. And I feel like with predictions, it kind of just makes everything all a mess, and I just don't want to do it that way. But anyways, how about we start this madness, shall we?
Time.
Today's sponsor is OneFootball. OneFootball allows you to follow your favorite teams, leagues, and even players. You can get live match scores, alerts, player ratings, and know exactly what's going on with instant up-to-date news. In addition to all these great new features, OneFootball has given us something even better. The app is now offering Indian Super League fans everywhere except in the Indian subcontinent the opportunity to stream all live matches and highlights. But it's not just the Indian Super League, it's also other great major leagues, and it's also for free. To any new fans, the Indian Super League is just about to start, so here's the chance to watch legends like Sunil Khetri. And remember, this is all free, so go down in the description, click that link, download OneFootball for either Apple or Android, because I promise you won't want to miss out. So we start off with Group A, which I'm honestly looking forward to more than most people are, I think. This feels like a group that could go really any way because a lot of these teams are very strong. You have the Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, and the host Qatar. But of course, Group A has the opening match, which is on November 20th, between Qatar and Ecuador. Basically, the hosts versus one of the youngest teams in the tournament, which for each team can go one of two ways. You either thrive on this or absolutely collapse. History, though, is on Qatar's side, where a hosting nation has never lost their opener. And with that, I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw in the first match. Top scorer of the 2019 Asian Cup, Almoez Ali, will open the scoring, but then midfielder Angel Mena will equalize for Ecuador. Next, we have Senegal versus the Netherlands. Netherlands, I'd say, are the favorites in this group, but I wouldn't count out Senegal because this is probably the strongest their team has ever been in quite a bit. Issue here, though, is that Senegal's main goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, who played a huge part in AFCON, may not be at his best because he is coming back from injury. But I'm not going to count out Senegal throughout the entire tournament because of that, but I will say a 2-0 victory for the Netherlands here. We have forwards Memphis Depay and young Cody Gakpo to score the goals here. Qatar versus Senegal. Very great attacks. I would say Senegal have the better defense here though. So with that being said, I'm going to go with a 3-1 for Senegal. 2 from Sadio Mane to start off the match. Almoez Ali gives Qatar a little bit of hope, but then it'll be Bamba Dieng who ruins the party for Qatar and Senegal win. Netherlands versus Ecuador. Netherlands are a great team. We've already talked about this, but Ecuador are from CONMEBOL. CONMEBOL is like if you fused Black Air Force energy and the 2010 NFC North into one. And with Ecuador needing some kind of result to set up their final match versus Senegal, I'm gonna say a 2-2 draw. Moses Caicedo opens the scoring for Ecuador, but then the Netherlands score 2 through Denzel Dumfries and Davy Klaassen. However, late into the match, Ecuador saved their hopes through Gonzalo Plata. So at this point, anyone has a chance to advance or even win the group. And if results go the way that I'm predicting, Senegal versus Ecuador could be a very, very fun match to watch. Because the stakes are pretty simple. If Senegal win or draw, they advance. But if Ecuador win, they go through. I think this time though, Senegal will remember what happened in 2018 and redeem themselves. I mean, yes, it's a fair rule, but like everyone else, I would have preferred like a death match between the two teams. So we're gonna go Senegal edge past the Ecuadorians 1-0. And I'm gonna go with Sadio Mane to score again. Netherlands versus Qatar. I don't really have much of a reason here. I just know that the Netherlands are a by far more superior team. So I'm just gonna go 3-0 to the Netherlands. Memphis Depay scores 1, and then Steven Bergwijn gets a brace. So here's the final group. We have the Netherlands with 7 points winning the group, then Senegal go through as the runners-up with 6. Ecuador finish off with 2 points, and then Qatar with just a measly 1. Hey guys, sorry for another interruption, but today I am doing a charity stream for the victims of the Kanjuruhan Stadium tragedy. You are not obligated to donate, but it would mean the world if you joined the stream. It will be live on my Twitch starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 3 p.m. British Standard Time, and it will be lasting for 7 hours. We got some fun events going on, like a live Do You Know Ball game show between JCC and Visa, and then after that, the rest of the stream stream will have us playing GeoGuessr, Fall Guys, with the likes of Football Iconic and Zealand. It'll be a fun time, so definitely come and tune in. Group B, aka the most politically charged group of this entire tournament. England have been, to put it nicely, abysmal since they lost on penalties. Iran looked to be on the same path when the whole dressing room was lost by Dragan Skocic. But luckily for the Iranians, things have done a whole 180 now that Carlos Queiroz is back. So I'll f***ing say it. 1-0 Iran. Mehdi Taremi to score the only goal, and you may think I'm insane for this, but listen, England are very well known for playing down to lesser competition. I could easily see this happening. USA versus Wales. On one hand, you have a mix of young and old, and the X Factor, Gareth Bale. On the other hand is a very young American side with tons of promise and technical ability never seen before from an American side, managed by American Callum's Corner. Let's go with the 2-0 Wales. One goal from Kiefer Moore and then one from Gareth Bale. Wales versus Iran. I feel like both of these teams are at very similar levels. 1-0, Gareth Bale scores early on, but then late into the game, Saman Godas bangs one in to save Iran a point. Here's my favorite matchup. England versus the US. Patriotism will be at an all-time high, and insults to each other's cuisines will be at its max.
Proper British dishes, part 35. Pretzels on f***ing fire.
The war will be brought up 5 billion times, while the Brits come up with every single analogy in the book to tell us our schools are COD lobbies. And to sum it up, the entirety of the world's toxicity will increase by at least 200% on Black Friday alone. And this will all lead up to the worst 1-1 draw anyone's ever seen. Harry Kane, like he always does, calculates a way to dive in the box and win a penalty, and it's gonna happen here, and he scores it. And then Yunus Musa will respond, which will be followed up by 60 minutes of absolute nothingness. So looking at the table so far, it is still really anyone's group, but Wales and Iran are tied with 4 points. And speaking of Wales, the Welsh versus the English. Another incredibly politically charged match. For me, I really feel like Wales would perform just like they did in Euro 2020, where no one really gave them a chance. And I really do believe that this is going to be the end of the road for Gareth Southgate. It is so overdue. So I don't really see anything special in this match, just a simple 0-0 draw. Iran versus the USA, and I'm gonna continue on the Iran train. They're gonna win this. Easily. Mehdi Taremi scores another goal, and then Sardar Azmoun, coming off injury, scores to double the lead. So here are the final results of Group B. Iran finally make it out of the group, and then Wales are right behind them as runners-up. Group C, I feel like this is an easier group to kind of predict. But you know, now that I say that, Saudi Arabia is going to win the f***ing group. Speaking of them though, the first match of Group C is Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. As I've mentioned in a previous video, I do believe Argentina are massive favorites to win the entire tournament. And while Saudi Arabia have improved, I just can't see much happening for them against such a superior side. So we'll go 3-0 to the Albiceleste. Lionel Messi, Lautaro Martinez will score, and why not? Julian Alvarez. Mexico versus Poland. Poland are hoping not to replicate what they did in 2018. Here's a reminder. And there's still plenty of good pieces, with some of them actually developing. And of course, they're led by Robert Lewandowski. Mexico are ones you can never count out in any World Cup, but even die-hard Mexicans can't back Tata Martino. For that reason, I will say Poland 1-0, Piotr Zielinski scores the only goal. And here's another match for Poland, against Saudi Arabia. Poland, knowing who their opponents are, will want to grab maximum points. I'm gonna go with the 2-1. Robert Lewandowski scores twice, and then a consolation from Firas Albayraktan. Argentina versus Mexico. These teams have a ton of history in the World Cup, with Argentina usually being the ones to win. I don't really see much of a difference here. Argentina 2-1. Lautaro Martinez and Giovanni Lo Celso will score for Argentina, and then Alexis Vega will get a consolation for Mexico. So as it stands, Saudi Arabia and Mexico are eliminated, and Argentina and Poland are tied with 6 points. So we go on to the last two matches of Group C, Poland versus Argentina, to determine who wins the group. Could be an intense outing, but I see Argentina going 9 out of 9 here. 2-0, Lionel Messi and Rodrigo de Paul each put in one in the back of the net. Saudi Arabia versus Mexico. Both have had very tough campaigns so far. I'm gonna go with the Saudis, winning 1-0. And it will be Salam Al-Dosari to score the sole goal. I mean, like I said, the Saudis have improved in quality quite a lot. It's just that they got very unlucky with the draws here. For Mexico, though, this is going to be the ultimate wake-up call to the Federation. Or at least I hope that's the case. So here are the final results of Group C. Argentina win the group with 9 out of 9 points. Poland redeemed themselves, advanced out of the group with 6 points. Group D, a little bit of a World Cup 2018 reunion after just 4 years. France, Denmark, Australia all played each other in the last edition, but at least there's someone to kind of crash this reunion. with Tunisia. The first match of the group though is Denmark versus Tunisia. Denmark go into this tournament as major dark horses. And if it's any time to show what they've got, it's gonna be this tournament because I'm not too sure about their future going forward. Tunisia may have only qualified through a Malian own goal, but they are not to be doubted. I mean, just this summer, they smashed Japan 3-0. That being said, I still think Denmark are stronger. We'll go with a 2-0 result. Goals from Christian Eriksen running on iOS 16 and Joachim Mæhle. France versus Australia. This was actually how both nations opened up their World Cup in 2018. Now, being reigning champions is obviously a bit of a confidence boost, but not when it comes to the World Cup, because now you have a curse on your shoulders. And what doesn't help is that honestly, you could probably line up a team that could win the World Cup with France's injury list. Now, Australia, they somehow qualified. To be honest, I don't really know how they did. They frauded their way through Asian qualifiers and then had one of their keepers hypnotize the Peruvians during penalties. I mean, fair play, I guess. I'd say maybe they have a little more bullshitting in them, but their best player, Aiden Hustig, is questionable right now. The score I'm gonna predict is France 3-1. The Aussies, though, will at least show glimpses of the French team and how they might struggle throughout the group stages, as Aouar Mabille will score the opener. But then Les Bleus will come back with 3 unanswered, Benzema scoring twice, and then Mbappe gets 1 himself. Australia will go right back at it again as they face Tunisia. I think this is truly where Tunisia will start to get their campaign running. I'm gonna go with a 3-0 victory. Goals from Feryani Sassi, Youssef Miskani, and Ali Abdi. France versus Denmark. These two teams actually did recently play each other in the Nations League, and Denmark won. Do I really see anything changing? No, because this is where the injuries start to really take their toll on France. The Danish will go flying into this match, 2-1 victory. Christian Eriksen opens the scoring, Karim Benzema brings one back, but then Mikkel Damsgaard bursts onto the scene again and wins it. So far, before we go into these last 2 matches, Denmark have 6 points, France and Tunisia have 3 each, and Australia still are very much in it, but they need to get a result. Australia, though, probably not going to get a result against Denmark. For whatever reason, I do see the Danish maybe playing a weaker side, so at least that gives the Aussies a little bit of a better chance. So I'll say 1-1. Denmark score through Rasmus Højlund, and then Australia equalize through Jackson Irvine. It. Tunisia versus France. I know what you're saying. Maqwell, there's no way. There is. 1-0 Tunisia. The French should make it out of this group. But that curse is indestructible. I mean, like I said, the injuries, that's already a sign. They're not gonna make it out. It is against the laws of the World Cup for the reigning champions to escape. It's not possible. So yeah, just like 2002, the reigning champions lose to an African side. And Wabi Kazri will score the only goal of this match and send Tunisia to their first ever knockouts of a World Cup final. So here is Group D. It could either age horribly or age like fine wine. Denmark with 7 points wins the group. Tunisia runners up with 6 points, and then France and Australia are eliminated. Group E, we have Costa Rica, Spain, and the 2 teams you would never ask about their histories during the 1930s and early 40s. But we start off with Germany versus Japan. Germany have a very solid core of players, but they just don't exactly have that Die Mannschaft identity like 2014. Japan have one of their most talented squads in a while, but they still lack a proper finisher. So because of that, I'm going to say this is more so like a warm-up for both teams, 1-1. An early goal from Kai Havertz will be cancelled out by a strike from Mr. Europa League himself, attacking midfielder Daichi Kamada. Am I giving Japan maybe a little too much credit here? Sure. But I really do not believe in the German hype. Spain versus Costa Rica. Spain haven't been amazing as of late, but they've shown glimpses in the past through the Nations League and also the Euros when they made it all the way to the semifinals. Costa Rica should have been down and out, and while this team is nowhere near the quality of Spain, they have a ton of veteran leadership. That being said, I still think Spain win 2-0. We'll get a goal from Ferran Torres to start off the match, and then after 18 attempts, Alvaro Morata will score. Japan versus Costa Rica. Very intriguing match, but for me, I think Japan just win 1-0, and we'll get a goal from Yunya Ito. Spain versus Germany. I feel like this could be an exciting thriller to watch. Ferran Torres scores first, then İlkay Gündoğan wins a penalty and scores. Second half, we'll see Jordi Alba pull up, but then immediately it's responded to by Kai Havertz. And then just around the last 10 minutes, substitute Carlos Soler wins it for the Spaniards. So far in the group, it's Spain in first with 6 points, Japan just behind them with 4, Germany still having having a chance with their one singular point. Costa Rica, it's not looking great for them. With Germany still being in Japan's rearview mirror, it's not exactly ideal that the last match for the Japanese is against the Spaniards. Even though the stakes will be higher for Japan, I still think Spain will want to win this group. I'm gonna say 2-0. Pablo Sarabia first, and then near the end, after Japan have tired themselves out, Alvaro Morata inserts the dagger. Costa Rica versus Germany. The Germans need to win if they want to have at least a chance to advance. And they'll do it. 2-1, Jamal Musiala and Thomas Muller will score for them, while we get a consolation from Usain Bennett for Costa Rica. So here is Group B as it stands. Spain with 9 points. Germany just make it out of the group as runners-up thanks to goal difference. Japan very unlucky there. I definitely feel like they're going to put up a decent fight, but it's just not going to be enough. And then Costa Rica, I just can't really see much here. 0 points for them. Group F, we have Morocco, Canada, Belgium, and Croatia. I feel like this could be anyone's group. But we start off with Morocco versus Croatia. Morocco mashed through African qualifiers like it was nothing, and even better news, Hakim Ziyech is back. Croatia, though, are on an even bigger high, having won their group in the Nations League. I'm gonna go with the European side here, 3-1 to Croatia. Luka Modric, Mario Pasalic, and Lovro Majer score for Croatia, and then Morocco put one on the scoreboard through Abdelhamid Sabiri. Belgium versus Canada. Canada are the best CONCACAF team going to this World Cup, and anything's possible when you have a player like Alphonso Davies. Belgium, on the other hand, have their golden generation slowly seeing the marks of father time, and this World Cup might be their last opportunity to truly achieve glory. This might be a little bit shocking, but I'm going to go with a 2-all. Belgium have one of the greatest attacks in the world right now, but their defense is nowhere near where it should be. So I'm gonna say for the scores, Belgium gets some false hope from 2 Romelu Lukaku strikes, but then Canada score 2 unanswered in the second half through Alphonso Davies and Kyle Larin. Belgium versus Morocco. Belgium will bounce back in this fixture. I don't see the defense completely tearing apart their campaign. Romelu Lukaku will continue his scoring form, adding another. Hakim Ziyech, however, will bag one himself. But then Eden Hazard will put the game to bed and Belgium win. Croatia versus Canada. Canada will be riding off the high of drawing against such a top team like Belgium, but I think Croatia will drop them back down to earth. 3-0. Goals from Josko Gvardiol, Ivan Perisic, and Marcelo Brozovic. So with 2 more matches remaining, Morocco are fully eliminated, Canada still have a decent chance, and then Belgium and Croatia are at the top. And speaking of those 2 teams, they still have yet to play each other. This one will be close, and I'm gonna say a 1-all draw. We're gonna go from Luka Modric in the second half, and then we'll get an equalizer from Michy Batshuayi for Belgium. Canada versus Morocco. I don't really know why, I just feel like Canada are gonna shit the bed here, so we're gonna go with a 2-1 to Morocco. Alfonso opens the score, but then the party gets crashed by goals from Yusuf En-Nesyri and Amin Harit. So the final standings of Group F will be Croatia winning the group with 7 points, Belgium will be runners-up with 5 points, Morocco finish third, kind of recover their campaign with 3 points, and Canada finish off with a singular point. But hey, at least they scored points this time. Group G has 3 teams that played each other in 2018, Brazil, Switzerland, and Serbia. But just like Group D, we at least have someone new in Cameroon. And we start off the group matches with Switzerland versus Cameroon. Switzerland are never a team you can count out. I don't know what it is. They just kind of are a little above average. That's about it. But they've managed some pretty impressive results as of late, like the 2-1 win against Spain. Cameroon definitely had some help from the refs to qualify for this World Cup, but I wouldn't say they're exactly fraudulent when they managed a 3rd place in AFCON. That being said, I still think the Swiss win 2-1. Goals from Bril Mbolo and Alpine Messi, Jordan Shaqiri, and then AFCON 2021 top scorer Vincent Aboubakar gets one late into the fixture. Next up, we have Brazil versus Serbia. Brazil, I'd say, are #1 favorites to win this entire tournament. Their team is insane. But Serbia, in my opinion, are a massive dark horse pick. For both teams, I'm gonna say this is like a warm-up. 2-all. We're gonna go from Alexander Mitrovic for an early Serbia lead. Neymar brings it back level. Richarlison gives Brazil the advantage in the second half, but then Eder Militao scores the first own goal of the tournament. Cameroon versus Serbia. Serbia will definitely need to get a result from this one, and they will. 3-0. Mitrovic with 2 goals, and then Dusan Vlahovic picks one up. Brazil, Switzerland. This is where Brazil really start to barbecue the competition. 3-0. Neymar, Lucas Paqueta, and Rafinha score. So far, Serbia and Brazil are tied with 4. Right behind them, though, is Switzerland with 3. One of the last 2 matches, Serbia versus Switzerland, and if things go like I've predicted, this could be one of the best matches of the group stage. So we're gonna go with Sergej Milinkovic-Savic opens the scoring for Serbia. Haris Seferovic, though, equalizes for the Swiss. Then we'll have the obligatory Xhaka banger giving Switzerland the lead. However, in the second half, Alexander Mitrovic makes it level again. Dusan Vlahovic Savic then makes it 3-2 to Serbia, and finally Ivan Ilic will score his first ever international goal to send Serbia to the knockouts for the first time since 1998 when the nation was part of Yugoslavia. Lastly, we have Brazil versus Cameroon, and after such an insane match, we just see Brazil eviscerate Cameroon. We'll go 5-0 for this one, 2 from Neymar, then 1 each from Richarlison, Felipe Coutinho, and Marquinhos. With Group G at its final standing, Brazil and Serbia have 7 points, but Brazil have a significantly better goal difference. Group H, we have South Korea, Uruguay, Portugal, and Ghana. This is like a World Cup history book because Uruguay eliminated South Korea in the round of 16 of 2010. Uruguay also eliminated Ghana in the quarterfinals of that same tournament. Uruguay also eliminated Portugal in the 2018 round of 16. But we'll start off with a rematch of the round of 16 in 2010, Uruguay versus South Korea. 2-0 Uruguay, goals from Federico Valverde and Matias Oliveira. Portugal versus Ghana. I just remembered that these two teams have also played each other. 2014 group stages where Portugal won 2-1. Portugal have a team that should make them contenders for the World Cup, but their coach brings them down at least 3 notches. Ghana entered this World Cup through a shady penalty, and then they shithoused the result against the Nigerians. But with their World Cup qualification success, they've at least attracted some better quality players like Iñaki Williams. But the question there is, can the team mesh together in time? I don't think the team's gonna mesh well together in the first match, but I will say Portugal being very underwhelming. Somehow, I see Ghana winning 1-0. Mohamed Kudus is in incredible form for Ajax right now, and I'm going to say he scores the only goal. Next up, we have South Korea versus Ghana. They played a friendly in 2014, if you want to add more history lore here. South Korea, I think, are going to win 1-0. Son Heung-min scores the only goal. Portugal versus Uruguay. Portugal 2-0. I know he's nowhere near his best, but it always feels against the laws of the game if Ronaldo doesn't score at least once in the World Cup, and then Ruben Dias will then close out the match. So with 2 more matches remaining, I think this will go down to the very wire. Every team with 3 points. And we start off with Ghana versus Uruguay, an absolute banger that I am so excited to watch. First thing I'm going to predict is how long Luis Suarez lasts. 10 minutes. Either way though, I think the Uruguayans will pull through. Edinson Cavani scores first, Mohamed Kudus returns the favor, but then Nicolas de la Cruz wins it. Alright, so it's been about maybe an hour and 15 minutes. We have finally reached the final group stage match. It is Portugal versus South Korea. And who says the South Koreans can't pull off another upset against the Europeans? 1-0 South Korea. Goal from Hwang Woo-jo. So here is Group H. A little bit of a shocker, but South Korea managed to pull through as runners-up with Uruguay winning the group. We start off with Group A winners Netherlands versus runners-up of Group B, Wales. And I think this is where it's the end of the road for the Welsh. 2-0 Netherlands. Nathan Ake scores, then Steven Bergwijn finishes off the job. Next we have Argentina, winners of Group C, and runners-up of Group D, Tunisia. Again, I see a 2-0 result. Lautaro Martinez scores both. Winners of Group E, Spain, versus runners-up of Group B, Belgium. Ferran Torres and Dani Olmo will score early for Spain, but then Kevin De Bruyne and Hans Van Aken bring it level. The game will go to penalties, and Spain wins. We have winners of Group G, Brazil, and runners-up of Group H, South Korea. Brazil will very much steamroll the South Koreans 3-0. Now this could be a very interesting watch. Group B winners Iran versus Group A runners-up Senegal. I'm thinking this is going to be a very defensive match with a 1-0 result for Senegal. Boulaye Dia will score a goal late on. Group D winners Denmark versus Group C runners-up Poland. I know I keep spamming the 2-0 results, but I'm gonna do it again. Kasper Dolberg and Mikkel Damsgaard score. Croatia winners of Group F versus runners-up of Group E, Germany. Don't worry, it's not 2-0. I think it's actually gonna be pretty high scoring. Thomas Müller draws first blood, which is followed up by another goal for Germany from Serge Gnabry. Andre Kramaric brings one back, but then the Germans score again through Leon Goretzka in the second half. However, Croatia then score 2 unanswered through Luka Modric and then Dejan Lovren. The match then goes to extra time and Nikola Vlasic scores the winner for Croatia. Does this all sound like insane ramblings? Yes, but I mean, you never know. And we cap off the round of 16 with Group H winners Uruguay and Group G runners-up Serbia. Serbia will continue their path in the World Cup with a 2-1 victory. Sasha Lukic scores the first goal, Uruguay will then make it level through Federico Valverde, but then Alexander Mitrovic in incredible goal-scoring form adds a 5th to the tournament and wins it for Serbia. We're on to the quarterfinals where we start off with the Netherlands versus Argentina. Many famous moments in World Cup history have come from this matchup. Unfortunately for the Dutch though, I see Argentina going through. It's gonna be one of those very gritty matches with a 1-0 result, Christian Romero scoring the only goal. Next, Spain versus Germany. Brazil will win 3-1 here. We're gonna get 2 from Neymar because this is his tournament. We'll have gone through his Joker arc after the Copa America. Spain, though, will bring one back through Yeremy Pino. However, Bruno Guimaraes inserts the dagger to the heart. Senegal versus Denmark. 2 major dark horses going at it. As much as I want to say that we will see an African nation in this year's semi-final for the first time ever, I think Senegal get very close. 1-0 Denmark. Extra time winner from Simon Kjær. And to finish off the quarterfinals, we have by far one of the most hostile rivalries, Croatia versus Serbia. Serbia, 2-1. Dusan Vlahovic and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic will score. Ivan Perisic will get one back for Croatia, but it'll just be too late. Oh baby, are you guys ready? We're into the semi-finals, where our first matchup is Brazil versus Argentina. Kind of disappointing, I know. It is absolutely criminal that this match isn't the final. But again, I think it'll be like the Copa America, very low scoring, but it will be Brazil prevailing this time. We'll have an unlikely hero. 70 minutes played, around that time at least. F***ing Fred scores. Denmark-Serbia is the other semi-final matchup, and this is very much not your typical semi-final. I mean, it's 2 dark horses. This really doesn't happen in the World Cup that much. Denmark, I think, have the slightly better team, so for that reason, I'm gonna say a 2-1 victory to the Danish. I probably predicted like half of the fixtures 2-1. But I mean, look at 2018. There were so many 2-1s. Don't hate the player, hate the game, you know? Either way, though, Mikkel Damsgaard will open the scoring for Denmark. Alexander Mitrovic continues his amazing goal-scoring form and brings the game level. And then in extra time, Christian Eriksen, having installed iOS 20, continues to write one of the greatest comeback stories in football history. Argentina versus Serbia will be the 3rd place matchup, and I think Argentina win this one pretty easily, 2-0. Lionel Messi will score his final World Cup goal, and then it'll be followed up by Leandro Paredes somehow scoring, which leads us to the great final of Brazil versus Denmark. I think it's going to be very much Brazil winning the World Cup. Rafinha will score first, then Philippe Coutinho adds to the tally. Denmark get one back through Martin Braithwaite, but who else but Neymar? I know, I sound like FIFA 23 scripting. To finish off the Danish and win Brazil their 6th World Cup title. There you are, everyone. My chaotic predictions video. Are you happy now? Don't worry, I'll actually give you guys a proper preview of every single team. Like I said, I just wanted to do that in a separate video because it just felt like too much of a mess if I included it here. And of course, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janos Balas, Sensely Hank Dennis, El Favi, Miliway009, Alex Rod, Ulta, Amin Suamez, Aresan, Arnulfo Martinez Jr., Daniel Ortiz, Francisco Hernandez, Juan Leras, Kev FM, Luke Fitzsimmons, Windy Mintang, Parafocus, Return Fire, Rory Burns, subscribe to Tenditem, The Motor Drive, Tomicus, Vanilla Mexican 7, Victor, Carlos G, Chris Damasceno, David Dunn, Declan Malloy, Dominic Griffin, Emmett Shea, Lewis, Jordan Clavet, Mohammed Obokhail, MX Weeb, Patrick Barley, President Pulisic, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you'd like. I mean, I want to get to 10,000 before the end of the year, so that would be kind of cool if you guys can help me there. You don't have to, though. Follow me on Instagram if you want. Follow me on TikTok. You can get me to 15,000 if you want. And of course, you can follow my semi-active Twitch. But until then, I'll see you guys.